Welcome back to Derpy Dungeons. This is Yasuo, and we are playing Baldur's Gate 3, where last time I spoke with a man in this printing press place, Edvard Needle, and he practically threatened to release a whole bunch of false information about me to make it where everybody hated me. So I let the rage get a hold of me. I don't really know why. I kind of regret it. And I knocked him out. But then this robot blew up and killed him, the Still Watcher. It was a little brutal. So now we have to actually find and stop the print. He said he had already wrote the paper. I don't know how I'm going to sneak through this part. But honestly, we need to do a quick rest anyway.
Just a brief respite.
Yeah. Good. What?
You've set foot in a restricted area. A swift exit may be in order.
Oh. I belong here. I'm here, aren't I? You wouldn't have let me in if I didn't belong, would you? It's a pretty high number to have to beat.
Congratulations, you've convinced them to give you access. Now what?
Now,
Been caught
wait.
trespassing.
What?
Again.
I don't understand. I convinced him, but no. He gets to question me twice in a row.
Everyone has to contribute, my darling. We all have to take care of each other.
Waiting for him to move.
Better, you mean a brick?
Haha! Don't know why it only mattered for me, but... Oh shit, I hear a Steel Watcher. Did I come in through that door or through that door?
Whatever comes, I'm ready.
Keeping my head down. Don't burn yourself.
Someone there? Neither seen nor heard.
I can be subtle sometimes.
Just another crate.
Yep. I knew it. Hey, wait a moment. Oh, there's two of them. That's not good.
Heading out.
Ooh. Okay.
I can't even catch my breath.
What's the plan?
Yeah, immune to poison, obviously. Provoke opportunity. I shouldn't be within reach.
Quietly now.
Ow. Wait. I actually want him to move over here. As far away as I can. There we go.
I'm ready.
Use this to collect news hawkers' sales at the end of the day and to give them change for tomorrow. Do not give Lewin another float. If he keeps misplacing it, he'll have to give change out of his own pocket. Edvard Needle, dead. Anyway, I want you to move there, not read that. Yep, attack my main. I'm actually going to switch to
Forever,
Karlak.
Knees high.
You're going to go there. Yep. Good. Really good.
Nothing important is ever easy.
Ow.
I made it back. I'm here. Thank the gods. Thank the gods.
Okay, I was trying to loot this guy, but... Enriched Infernal Iron. Maybe I'll need that to fix her. Instead of just normal Infernal.
Feeling fresh?
I have a debuff. Oh, still watcher searching for me for the next 13 rounds. It's not honestly that much. Lessons of Sensible Living. 12. Zariel's Fall. The foreword to this brief account of Zariel's fall captures the tone of the entire text. Greetings, sensible folk. Already I can detect grumbling in the agitated rattle of piped stem against teeth. A lesson dedicated to the Archduke of Avernus? Has Harrington taken leave of his senses? Quiet your complaints. I assure you I have not. It is true that cosmic occurrences are often insensible by their very nature, but the tale of Zariel strikes close to home. In her downfall, you will be reminded of those haughty, do-gooding neighbors and acquaintances who rightfully arouse your suspicions. One moment, they are suggesting you grow turnips rather than potatoes on that fallow patch. and the next they have their kitchen knife strapped to their belt and are suggesting you explore the abandoned crypt behind the Gills' farm. In short, Zarya was a celestial being, tasked with monitor the ebb and flow of the Blood War, of which more in Volume 21. Matters of little importance to sensible folk. I think that's 21. I could be wrong. Anyway, observing was not righteous enough for Zariel, though, and she took it upon herself to become directly involved, like the oaf who sees two fellows fighting over a spilt tankard of ale and, rather than applauding the efforts, cracks their skulls together and causes a tavern-wide brawl. She invaded Avernus, was defeated, and now rules there, corrupt and wicked. What can sensible folk learn from this foolish tale? It is obvious. Do not strive to correct what cannot be corrected. Look not to distant lands and conflicts, but to your fields, your family, and your friends. There is nothing but misery to be gained from interfering with the hardships of others. Harrington Netherland. Excavation of the Enclave of Naloth. I hope that's pronounced correctly. Elminster said Naloth was a wonder to behold when it floated in Faerun's sky. It was surely right. This Nether-Ease enclave was once a jewel in the empire of magic, with towers that pierced the heaven, and yet it fell, just as all Nether-Ease enclaves did, crashing down when Cassa's folly ripped magic from the world. But even after it collapsed into the sea, its ruins still held a strange, twisted beauty. I traveled here from Halra when I heard the sea had retreated and the ruins of Naloth were visible once again. Alas, I was not the first. Looters had stripped the enclave of its material wealth, destroying much of its historic riches in the process. I found arcane books used to make campfires, their magic now lost to the ages. I have met some Shadowvar here whose interests align with mine, and we have agreed to search the ruins together. I'm grateful for these allies. The ruins are mostly filled with thick-skulled adventurers, but I cannot shake the feeling that someone is watching us, waiting to see what we uncover. Lower City and Upper City. A guidebook written to assist newcomers in grasping the separation of the upper and lower parts of the city of Baldur's Gate. It describes the upper section as the home of the patriarchs, who are a city's nobility caste. It is well patrolled, and its immense wealth shows itself through wide, well-lit streets shining proudly on buildings of elaborate and elegant decorations. By contrast, the lower section of the city is tangled in narrow streets, compact buildings patrolled not by many guards, but a cornucopia of merchants, craftspeople, chances, dancers, fools, fabulous vagabonds, cut-purses, young men and women of negotiable affection, barkeeps, beggars, knights, and knaves. I ran out of breath there. Boulder's Mouth Gazette. Oh, it didn't make me read that. Oh, shit. I didn't mean to attack that. The Illustrated Adventures of Badarian. I think I read this one already. Yeah, I read this one. It was a funny one. And I read this one as well. It's been like 2 days since I've made a video. So I really hope I'm not forgetting something from the last time. Ooh, chest. Give it a second, make sure it's not trapped. Okay.
Couple turns should do it.
I thought he was about to say carpal tunnel. I don't know. Oh yeah. 38. What? Collection records. A note is scrawled on the bottom of an otherwise mundane sales record. Edvard, mate, I don't know what you're lacing those papers with, but they're selling like silk root at a druid grove. Bloody good stuff. He ain't gonna need it. He's dead. Wait. I did not mean to jump up here. But I might break through the wall. I don't know why I would. Unless the door's like locked. Door's even open. Duke Ravengard on official mission to Elturel. Elturel Inferno, city drawn into Avernus. Gang war rumored between arms smugglers. Scandal strikes the Van Thampur family. The legend of old Cholmes. Admission rules tighten for Upper City. Where did the fog go? Banished by Umberlee. I don't know if I can believe anything that guy writes in these things. Cutest cat you've ever seen? Humdrum. Wow, okay. Oh, not something I can read? Okay. Attack it. Yep, I didn't mean to. Okay, get down, you weirdo. Okay, here's the printing press. A bunch of alcohol. But, I mean, I'll take it. Oh, wooden chest with trap. Just tells me there's a trap somewhere in this place. Broadsheet.
You examine what appears to be a test print of tomorrow's broadsheet. Numerous corrections are marked in red ink. The content of the broadsheet is troubling. You feature heavily in the central article, lambasted as a danger to the city.
Oh, fun. Absolutist infiltrators threaten Fafedi of Gorlat. What is that word? Fafedi. That's a weird one. Of Gorlash, Setua's strangers seek to steal and plunder, cleansed of the shadow curse, or carriers. Clean up these bloody mistakes and then... Okay, so he messed up. That's supposed to be safety. But he put Fafedi. I'm sorry. I'm also sorry. I gotta throw somebody else on that. Ah, that sucks.
Still breathing.
I
Despite
failed to
everything.
check. I was gonna make them try it. Embrace modernity. Printing division. The dry run of the new Encanto automated printing press was a complete success, and we'll be switching immediately to broadsheet production on that shiny new device. And none of your bitching about how it might be possessed by a spirit, because of course it's possessed by a spirit, so deal with it. We not only print the news, we are the news. Edvard Needle, dead man. Fucker got too uppity. Had to be put down. Pivot to new target. So I walk through the shit newsroom floor, and what do I see? Half of you are still working on your usual old columns about syllable recipes and road repairs. Knock it off! I made it perfectly clear in the morning's briefing that we're going all out to blight the reputation of that phony band of adventurers. Now stinking up the city. Throw all your usual columns in the rubbish bin and get to work on some hit pieces. Now, Needle. I am so glad I killed that asshole. An Archduke's leadership. Decorum. A pamphlet by the Gortash of Archduke Voluntary Campaign. As Archduke, Lord Gortash's top priority will be decorum, to ensure that administration and law enforcement are at all times treated with respect for their position and duty. No policy can be more important. Certainly not the safety of anybody. An Archduke's leadership verification. A pamphlet by the Gortash for Archduke Voluntary Campaign. An Archduke, Lord Gortash's top priority will be verification, to ensure that all those receiving the benefits of citizenship in Baldur's Gate are actually entitled to them. No policy can be more important. Didn't it just say that on the other one?
What's that?
What's what? I'm gonna read this first. Might be what I'm talking about. Folly and the Fall. Though clearly old, this handbill has managed to maintain its bold print over time. For one season only, see the play that sent El Terrell's Everlat Theater into chaos. The Sharp-Tongued Traveler's Troupe presents The Folly and the Fall, a tragedy in 4 parts. I've read this before. The leadership of the Zhentarim. An excerpt from the ongoing metatext, Rebound, by Isoatha Elgin, a scholar excommunicated from the Church of Denia for his heretical efforts to reconstruct the metatext. I've read this one before as well. Sorry about the cat meowing in the background, she won't be quiet. The moral view: eyewitness accounts of the Bald Spawn crises. The guild seal on the inside cover belongs to a printmaker collective in Baldur's Gate. Of course I remember. Knew the second that girl was walking that she'd be trouble, little thief. Always in everyone's business. And that ward of Gorion went right along with her. No surprise a wicked god's blood was running in their veins. I don't know, it's kind of cute. Zaravok and his lot are always the first ones that come to mind. You know, this all started with a bit of iron in Ashkel. Everyone thought their weapon would rot out of their hands back then. I thought the problem was bad trade. Never took the man for a son of Bull. A Manian mercenary, interviewed on his deathbed. You dare speak that name to me? My mistress was turned to ash fighting those forsaken wretches. I curse Baal, I curse Irenicus, and I curse you. Hostile vampire, Athkatla slums. The 5 tore Tethir to pieces. I don't think anyone expected more ball spawn to show up that would fix the war that a pack of them started. Then again, they were all inclined to killing each other, eh? Good riddance. Here's hoping every last one of them been wiped off the face of Faerun. Saradush Merchant, retired. I'm not authorized to be talking about any murder with someone like you. Take it up with that sea tower if you want to argue. Honestly, who cares if a ball spawn got it struck to them? Their fathers would be the killing type after all. Flaming Fist Gauntlet, Baldur's Gate. Several hundred more interviews follow, most of them terse. Yeah, we're not looked upon fondly, are we? We saved the city, we saved everybody. No, yeah. Anyway, the Annals of Baldur's Gate. Preface. Centuries ago, a young man sailed from the village of Grey Harbor. Where he went, what he saw, and the deeds he accomplished are simply legends today. But the wealth he returned with years later is a hard fact. Baldarian... I've read this one before. Yeah, I read this one. Okay. Once I realize I've read it, I will stop. What is this? Oh! Red room! Red room! Red room! I have no idea what to look for in this heroic... You know, I want to take those just to not let others take those. And I'll take the silver ingot. It's money. Official print job. Printing office Baldarian Mouth. You are about to find out why we got you the fancy enchanted automatic printing press. This letter constitutes a mandatory printing order for 5 bundles of the official Gortash Archducal coronation portrait poster. This order is to be delivered as immediately as possible. Keep that press running all night. We'll make sure the neighbors don't complain. And watch your quality control. We don't want Lord Gortash's face smeared or pumpkin-colored. Yeah, we wouldn't want an orange person running the country, right? Ulova aids the Archduke's design. Not that I would ever get into politics with anybody, live or not live for that matter. You shall never figure out who I would vote for in any case. Haha. Because I would have to learn who I would vote for first. Oh, a public danger. Weasley words weave terrible tales about you, potentially reputation shattering if you put to print. That's probably the one that's put to print. Yoink. Regarding portrait production. An unsent letter from Etivar Needle, okay, dead man, addressed to Lord Enver Gortash, gonna be dead man. Far be it, my lord, for me to question a decree from you, but I worry you haven't the full picture in mind. If we were to stop all production of the Baldarian Mouth Gazette for even a 10-day, our reach and audience impact would take a debilitating blow. Yes, I understand the portrait you've ordered we print is a Fervus original. Yes, I understand what it'll do for your image before council next meets to discussion succession plans. But please take a moment to consider what you're asking from me. Yours faithfully, Etvar Needle, Dead Man, Baldur's Mouth Gazette. I'll grab the wand. He's not going to need it where he's at. I don't know why, but I can't get that one. Not much in that room. I thought there was going to be a lot more. Alright, probably another boss fight. Oh. Nobody? It's not funny. I don't care who keeps messing with the printer and adding mistakes to our ad editions. I'll dock all of your pay if it doesn't cease immediately, dead man. Gondian Research Report. Thought Gondor was in Lord of the Rings, not here. Here you pass your eyes over a Gondarian report concerning the Shadow Curse. Landmarks are sketched quite expertly, with special attention paid to areas where the curse hangs thickest. Of interest, the report ends with a recommendation for someone called the High Artificer. That recommendation reads thusly. It is a geography. It is a geography unsalvageable. High Artificer, the curse's ambiguity makes it inscrutable as well as deadly. It is the shared belief among our party that the area of designated as imperative to avoid on Gondian maps and for all further expeditions to be summarily halted, discontinued, and not reconsidered thereafter. I'm having trouble reading all that. I understand what it's saying, but some of those words seem like they took a real word and added stuff to it. It's just me. I'm sure it's just me. Wolf in sheep's clothing. Tell about me. Put to print. Yeah, okay, so maybe the other one wasn't the one. Now I'm curious. Books. The Guild. hidden rulers of Baldur's Gate. The book's central argument is encapsulated in a chapter devoted to Rilsa Rael, Guild Kingpin of Little Kalimshan. I think I read this one as well. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. Oh, more Gazette. Increase in missing persons alarms families. Sudden earthquake shakes her home. Does the counting house sink deeper with each new gold coin? Could your spouse be a secret cultist? Elfsong Tavern kicks off new competition. Join the laugh riot now. Old Garlow's place occupied by vandals. Too much haddock? Make fish cakes. Okay. Yeah, I have to go around this thing. Oh, hello. Gondian Auto Printer User Manual. Using your auto printer is a two-step process. Step 1. Load your headline article. Printing is as easy as opening a hatch and placing your desired article in the machine. Once the auto printer is loaded, it will animate and begin pumping out copies until either the ink reservoir or paper hopper is empty. Step 2. Endless profit. Now your exceptional journalism will be ready for delivery to your vast readership. You'll need it with the amount of broadsheets this thing will print. I can imagine having one of these and not having people to read. It's like having a YouTube channel with 400 videos, 400 plus videos, and only having, like, 19 people watching. Anyway, The Approachable East, Volume 3. I knew the guys, traveling folk with a reputation for fortune-telling, but you only start to know people when you sit down and share a tale. At the side of the road over a pot of bubbling stew, they told me they were the children of Seluna, and claim a history stretched back to ancient Rashomon itself. Girl legend tells of two young witches, I guess, Weichlarin? Weichlarin, who refused to follow the instructions of the elders. In frustration, the older witches turned the young maidens into songbirds and locked them in a golden cage, saying if they refused to learn, at least they would make music. But they escaped and flew across Faerun. Eventually exhausted, they landed in the garden of a cleric who blessed them in the name of Seluna, breaking the curse and transforming them back into human form. Since then, they have been Seluna's children. All Gur people trace their line back to these young maidens. Indeed, some Gur matriarchs even take maidens as a title. Of course, as the beloved of Seluna, they no longer practice the witchcraft. But some say it remains in the blood, and it lets them catch glimpses of the future. It was a magnificent tale and some excellent stew, but was any of it true? I shall investigate when I reach Rashomon. Perhaps they tell a different story. On Death and Resurrection. I've read that one. I remember that one. Y'all can read it if you want. Pause the video. Or just load up one of my old videos where I actually do read it. Ah, the same one. Oh, I thought I'd looted that one already. The Approachable East, Volume 7. Thay is beautiful. Its people are warm. Its people are kind. I am welcome here. Rashomon means nothing to me now. Kara-Tur means nothing. My travels are done. Come, my friend, I implore you. Come to Thay. Thay is beautiful. Rian Forbeck. Rian Forbeck. I'm gonna look that name up in the near future and see if he's a red wizard. Balduran founds a city. This deck roots its subject on Balduran, a sailor of exquisite renown who founded the city of Baldur's Gate many years ago. The prose is colorful, but a little too self-satisfied round the edges, and the novel would be unremarkable but for one small entry about halfway through. Balduran came to guardian and friend Answer. Bright were Answer's scales, and brighter still his breath. Yet for a betrayal too piercing to recount here in worthy detail, Answer fled beneath the stone, thereby changing the name of the region he now slumbers under to match his draconic lineage. The Dukes of Baldur's Gate. Wealth speaks with a loud voice in the city founded and made prosperous by trade. Baldur's Gate has always been governed by its parliament of peers, consisting of the heads of the richest patriarch's family, with executive rulership by a council of four. The four most powerful dukes, one of whom is designated Grand Duke. That tradition has held for many centuries, with the occasional interruption in times of crisis, and a crisis is where we find ourselves again, which accounts for the recent change in the city's administration. Last year, the Council of Four was Duke Bellin Stelmane, Duke Dillard Porter, and Duke Thalamir Vanderpur, chaired by Grand Duke Older Ravengard, who went to that city, and yeah. After the death of Duke Vanderpur, and the worrying disappearance of Grand Duke Ravengard during the fall of Elturel, the question of who would make up the Council of Four going forward was postponed pending in return, or confirmed loss, of Ravengard. Into the power vacuum rose a brash new contender, Lord Enver Gortash, who promised that his leadership would see the city through its series of crises. When Ravengard finally returned and actually endorsed Gortash for the leadership role, Baldur's Gate gratefully turned to its new Archduke to bring its citizens back to safe harbor. And they're all going to be damned for it. The history of the Flaming Fist. They were mercenaries that become guards. A history on the Flaming Feast. Founded by Elton, who was at that time Grand Duke of the city of Baldur's Gate, the Flaming Fist are difficult to categorize. They are a standing army, a police force, a band of mercenaries, and a troop of explorers. They are scholars who have inculcated order and law, and they are soldiers who have slaughtered the guilty and the innocent alike under banners of orange and scarlet. Equally vexing for the historians are the sociological implications. Their fists have been at some times corrupt and at others virtuous. In that way, making a friend of the fist is buying a packaged loaf. Who knows if the dough is delicious or the crust is poisoned? Order of the Gauntlet on matters of law and justice. I'm going to read this in a different voice. Good is the absence of evil. It means to seek peace and to enforce it. It means to seek depravity and to denounce it. And it means to trust in your God and yourself. For the greatest good of all is called faith. Goodness is not lawfulness. Law is commandment, of God or of mortal. It is the call of authority and the sanction of its opponents. Law is the father of order. To renounce it is to invite chaos, in which there is neither meaning nor life. Law can be corrupted. Lawfulness is not goodness. I say to you then, that we seek not to be good or to be lawful, but to be just. For what is it to be good, if we cannot define the acts that oppose it? What is it to be lawful, if it is a devil's commands we obey? Justice is the hand that feeds the hungry, and the shield that guards the weak. The shield that guards the realms of man. It is the sword that fells the wicked, and the cloak that warms the indigent. Indigent? It is for justice that the Order of the Gauntlet stands watch, and it is justice that Tyr and Torm, Helm and Hor demand. Curse breakers. Tell about you, potentially reputation shattering. Okay. Notice of termination. Dear Mr. Foes, while the mouth likes to nurture an atmosphere of open and honest debate within our newsroom, we draw the line at conspiracy, intimidation, and libelous behavior. You have become and are fostering a toxic, unjournalistic presence in the workplace. And while it brings me no joy, you've left us no choice. I do not accept your resignation. You are fired without pay, effective immediately. Any further harassment of myself, our staff, or any of our generous benefactors will force my hand in pursuing criminal action. All the best, Dead Man. The Duke's Mouth. An article marked for the editor's desk that looks like it never went to print. There is a sickness in our city, dear Rita. It nibbles on the council's ear in private audience chambers. It clanks around our streets in still automatons. And it whispers sweet nothings from the pages of this very broadsheet. The fetid presence of Lord Enver Gortash is rotting our city in its very core, and this reporter is personally ashamed to work for the publication. No, propaganda vehicle that allows the infection to spread. There's so much to the story, dear reader, so much that I'm excited to share it with you. Yes, you, Edvard. Consider this my notice of resignation. Holly Foes, investigative journalist, newly freelanced. Good for you. I think I already passed you once. I think we discussed something. Patria is a homegrown aristocracy. Reading like an extremely brave or suicidal act of journalism, this scathing takedown of the Baldarian upper crust decries each house, from the Caldwells who jealously hoard patronage of the city's art museums to the Irlintries whose merchants' fleet floats swift and immense across the rippling waters, to the Raven Shades who control the production of ink-dyed jewelry and gemstones. This goes on with bile seeming to underline each insult, each description of the wealthy household, reveling in the good fortune turns. City life is a duck pond, and the text seems to imply scum rises to the top. Wow. Baldur's Gate and the Dialects of Plunder. An excerpt on page 37 is circled in red. There can be no doubt that the Patrias family of the upper city affect such an air of reserve and respectability because they are all too aware that their fortunes are founded on bloodshed, pillage, and exploitation. No one speaks of Jeremiah Elton, who founded the Flaming Fist as a ruthless mercenary company that slaughtered and burned for pay along the entire length of the Sword Coast. No one mentions Barone Ilza Bormule and the blood-splattered ingots shipped north from her slave-labored mines in the mountains of Armon. The schoolbooks don't mention Bogo Sashinstar's bone flotilla that plundered Asta Cave and abducted the port's entire populace. An Archduke's leadership surveillance. Pamphlet by Gortash Archduke. Yeah. As Archduke, Lord Gortash's top priority will be surveillance to ensure that disloyal elements do not threaten Baldur's Gate and its people from within. No policy can be more important. Bullshit. My dearest Edvard, our new guard from the venerable Lord Gortash has already outstripped any production records the manual printer set. They've clever little bastards, those Gondians. Shame their foundry is such an eyesore. No, we're fully on board with Gondians. And the fantastic steel watch. That's the new line, in fact. The foundry could be argued to even ascent Grey Harbor. My, I think I feel a travel feature coming on. All my love, Edvard Needle, Dead Men. Courtiers of Luskan. This cultural analysis spends a good number of pages on Luskan. Tucked like a gold filling, or some would say a pus-filled abscess, at the mouth of the river Mirar, Luskan is a city of merchant princesses, swarthy bandit princes, and the most diverse cutthroat and fractured cabal of pirates on Toro. Torn into factions, these piratical groups are known as ships. Here the book details each faction with a frankly dizzying attention and detail. The one point of interest is that Ship Kurth faction are in fact controlled by a secret mercenary company of Drow. They are. Eyewitness accounts. No official document, this appears to be one of the many hastily produced copies documenting the night of Elturel's descent into Avernus. I can't read this. So I'm going to let you guys read this. I'm going to go slow. If you need to stop, you can stop. I am currently running Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus, and I don't want to read this. So, here you go. And with that, we are done. Now we'll see you all next time. If you like this video, hit like. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.